In the shadows where truth and tales intertwine, we find the thrilling, the chilling, the downright spine-tingling. From the paranormal to the peculiar, every echo has a story. Dare to delve into the unexpected, the unexplained? Brace yourself, for you're about to embark on a journey where fear meets fascination. Stay tuned if you dare, for stories that will make your heart race and your mind ponder. Welcome to the realm of the eerie, the realm of the unknown. And remember, like and subscribe, if you dare. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to encounter a Bigfoot? That's a question I, John, a retired park ranger, never thought I'd seriously contemplate. One evening, as the sun began to set and the forest was bathed in a soft twilight, I was enjoying a solitary stroll along one of the park's serpentine trails. The tranquility of the setting was abruptly shattered by a gunshot that echoed ominously through the dense forest. The sound was far too close for comfort, seemingly originating from within the boundaries of the no-hunting zone. We had these boundaries in place to protect the public from any potential harm. Hunters, both seasoned and rookies, were strictly forbidden from these areas, but that gunshot, it was unmistakably close. With years of experience under my belt, I had developed a keen sense of direction. Despite the way sound bounced around in the forest, distorting its origin, I was confident I could locate the source. I began to make my way towards it, the adrenaline pumping through my veins, my heart pounding in my chest. As I got closer to the source of the gunshot, another shot rang out, followed by a triumphant shout. My heart sank as I realized the hunter might have actually hit something. I hurried towards the sound, waving my arms above my head, shouting for them to stop. And there he was, a rugged hunter with a devil-may-care attitude, rifle in hand, a smug grin plastered on his face. He was the embodiment of reckless audacity. I was about to reprimand him for his blatant disregard for the park's rules when he cut me off with an announcement that sent chills down my spine. He proudly claimed to have shot a Bigfoot. This was an unexpected encounter indeed. A hunter, a gunshot, and a supposed Bigfoot. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this. Little did I know, the night was far from over and the real horror was yet to unfold. At first, I thought it was just another false claim. That's what I usually tell myself when hunters like Bill insist they've shot something extraordinary. But as we journeyed towards the ridge where he claimed to have downed the mythical Bigfoot, I couldn't shake off a sense of unease. The sun was setting, casting long shadows that danced with the rustling leaves. Bill was a few steps ahead, leading the way with an excitement that was contagious, yet troubling. The forest was eerily quiet. The only sound was the crunching of leaves beneath our boots and the occasional hoot of an owl. We arrived at a clearing, and there it was, a large, hairy figure sprawled on the ground. It was an image that would forever be etched in my mind. The sight of the beast was surreal, its massive form covered in thick, matted fur. Bill was ecstatic, pumping his fists in the air, his face illuminated with a triumphant grin. He was convinced he had just made history, that his name would be etched into the annals of hunting lore. But as I stood there staring at the lifeless creature, a sense of dread washed over me. This was not a trophy, it was a tragedy. I felt a deep sorrow for the creature that lay before us. It was an animal that had been living quietly in its natural habitat, only to be brought down by a bullet. Bill's cheers echoed through the forest, shattering the silence that had once prevailed. His joy was misplaced, his celebration a mockery of the life that had been lost. I stood there, a silent spectator to this horrifying spectacle, a knot forming in my stomach. Just as I was about to voice my concerns, the tranquility of the forest was once again disrupted. This time it wasn't a gunshot, but the frantic rustling of leaves. A man burst through the bushes, gasping for breath, his face a mask of sheer panic. His appearance was as unexpected as the earlier gunshot, and it brought with it a new twist to our already bewildering situation. But then, amidst all the celebration, a man burst through the bushes. The newcomer, Jamie, had a look of terror on his face. He was panting, his eyes darting wildly between us and the fallen figure in the dirt. He held a camera, its red recording light still blinking. "You killed Chris!" he cried out, pointing an accusing finger at the hunter. Jamie began to explain, his words stumbling over each other in his haste. He and Chris, he said, were amateur filmmakers. They had been working on a YouTube project, a mockumentary about Bigfoot sightings in the area. Chris had been in a suit playing the part of the legendary beast. Jamie had been filming from a distance when he heard the shots. The hunter, Bill, his face pale, shook his head in disbelief. "No," he said, "I saw... it was..." He trailed off, unable to finish his sentence, his eyes locked on the figure on the ground. We all turned to look. The creature lay still, its massive, hairy form sprawled out in the dirt. The face looked strange. The eyes were hollow, empty sockets, the mouth a gaping hole. It didn't look quite right. Together we approached the body. Bill bent down and with a trembling hand reached out to touch the creature's face. As his fingers brushed against the skin, it moved. It was a mask. We all held our breath as he slowly pulled it off, revealing the face underneath. There in the dirt lay Chris. His eyes were closed, his face pale. He looked so human. Not a mythical creature, not a beast, but a man. A man who had been playing a part. A man who had been mistaken for a legend. The hunter's elation, his triumph, turned to horror. His trophy was not a creature of legend, but a man. A man he had killed. I turned to him, my voice heavy with sorrow and reproach. "You were right, Bill," I said. "You will be famous, but not for bagging a Bigfoot." In that moment, it was clear that the hunter's fame would be his downfall. The hunter's triumph quickly turned into a nightmare. I told Bill he was under citizen's arrest and we needed to head back to the ranger station immediately. His face paled. The weight of his actions had finally sunk in. All thoughts of fame and fortune had evaporated, replaced with the dread of the consequences of his reckless actions. As we made the trek back to the station, I couldn't help but reflect on the situation. Here we were, two men in the middle of nowhere, bound together by a tragic accident. The silence was heavy, broken only by the occasional rustling of leaves underfoot. Upon reaching the station, I informed my fellow rangers of the situation. The disbelief on their faces mirrored my own when I first heard Bill's story. We contacted the police immediately. The law would have to decide Bill's fate. As we waited for the authorities to arrive, my thoughts turned to the Bigfoot suit. It was eerily realistic, even up close. The hairs were coarse and thick. The mask so well crafted it fooled a seasoned hunter. I couldn't help but wonder why someone would engage in such a dangerous stunt. It was a question that would haunt me for days to come. The more I thought about it, the more I realized the recklessness of the stunt. The park was a place of peace, a sanctuary for people and animals alike. The idea that someone would deliberately endanger that peace was infuriating. But more than that, it was saddening. This was a tragic accident that could have been easily avoided. As the police arrived and took Bill into custody, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. Not for myself, but for the park. It was a tragic day, but it served as a stark reminder of the thin line between curiosity and danger. In the end, it was a lesson learned the hard way. A reminder that in our pursuit of the unknown, we must never forget the value of life and the consequences of our actions. It was a tragic day, a day that reminded us all of the thin line between curiosity and danger. The events of that day left a permanent mark on everyone involved. The quiet tranquility of the park was shattered, replaced with a somber silence that hung heavily in the air. We, the park rangers, were left grappling with the realization of how quickly a peaceful day can turn into a nightmare. For the public, it was a horrifying story that spread like wildfire, a chilling reminder of the potential dangers lurking in the wilderness. The park, once a haven for nature lovers, was now tainted with the memory of a tragic incident. Visitors were more cautious, their laughter a little quieter, their gazes a little warier. Yet, it was also a testament to the resilience of humanity as people continued to visit, choosing to not let fear dictate their lives. This incident was a wake-up call for us rangers. We had always prioritized safety, but this event showed us that we needed to do more. We increased our patrols, made sure that our no-hunting zones were more clearly marked, and started public awareness campaigns. We wanted to ensure that such a tragedy would never repeat itself. The death of Chris was a harsh lesson for all. It highlighted the importance of being aware of our surroundings, of understanding the potential risks involved in our actions. His death was a result of a reckless act, a pursuit of fame that disregarded the potential dangers. But it was also a result of a prank gone horribly wrong. It served as a reminder that pranks, while seemingly harmless, can have dire consequences if not thought through. The incident also sparked a debate about the ethics of hunting. It forced us to question whether the thrill of the hunt was worth the potential risks. It made us reconsider our policies and regulations, and ponder on how we could better balance the interests of hunters with the safety of the public and wildlife. It was a harsh reminder that in the pursuit of fame or thrill, one must not disregard the potential dangers and consequences. In the end, we all carry the weight of that day, a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of responsible choices. And so, our tale of the Campfire Horrors comes to an end. Until next time, sleep tight. Before we part ways, dear viewers, remember to stay vigilant. The Campfire Horrors may have been extinguished for now, but the embers of the unknown always remain. As you lay down to sleep tonight, don't forget the lessons from our tale. Safety is but a fleeting moment in a world of unseen. So, if you've enjoyed this journey into the abyss, don't forget to ring that bell and smash that like button. Do it before the thing under your bed decides to pay you a visit. Oh, and keep those night lights on. You never know what might be lurking in the dark. Thank you for embarking on this terrifying adventure with us. Until our paths cross again in another tale of the unknown. Goodbye and sweet dreams, if you can.